Sometimes these 3 to 4 yard runs, later in football games, they turn into 5 to 15 to 20-yard gains just because of the body blow effect.
Caught close to the marker. It's Benson. Has plenty for the first down, and they stop him at the 28. Last completion moves the sticks in. Let's see if they try it again. From the gun, the ground game. Defense there to stop him after a 2-yard gain to the 31.
And what's the closest guy to the football, man? It's those defensive tackles, and those guards and centers have to work together. They got to get those guys and get some movement. They don't on this play, and the big fella eats. Nowhere to go. When you run into him, you usually meet the ground.
Fires to the tight end. Finally stopped at the 46 after a 15-yard gain.
As a head coach, you love it when your quarterback is locked in early. Opening drive, throws a touchdown pass. Really nice throw on that last play. Here in the second drive, he's firing on all cylinders. You can tell this guy did his homework coming into this game, and right now it's paying off.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping them up, getting them on the ground. Take away that run game. Make them one-dimensional, put them in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
More to the air. Moving away from pressure. And he's left with no option. He just threw it away.
And that goes down as an incompletion, but that's a smart play. And the QB coach and the OC will be very happy with the decision of the quarterback. He got outside the pocket. He's outside the tackle box. He knew to throw it away as long as he got it past the line of scrimmage. Nothing there, nothing open. Live to fight another down.
On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Catch in the middle, it's Moore. Of examples of that in this one. Welcome to the home of the Penn State Nittany Lions, Beaver Stadium in State College, Pennsylvania. As we'll see a team sitting in the top 5 of the conference standings, taking on the 6th-ranked team in the land, the Penn State Nittany Lions. Glad to have you with us for EA Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, and Jesse Palmer with me in the booth. Guys, we are ready to tee it up. The Ducks will kick it away first. The ball squirts through the end zone. That'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. Looking downfield, it's Aller. Rushes on him. Hit hard just as he released it on 1st down and just couldn't get it to the receiver. Their performance in SEC play last year was forgettable. They'd love to make it memorable this time around.
I love when Reese uses the phrases like forgettable, which means it was awful, not very good, okay? So they're looking for a bounce back. They've been selling this program all offseason. They've been trying to bring in new additions.
And the pressure was too much. They get him at the 15.
Well, the offense is being aggressive here in their opening possession, trying to throw the ball in the first 2 plays. They went incomplete first down, and now they take a sack on second down. This is not going to script, and they understood it was going to be a challenge against this defense. And I love the fact that they're going to be aggressive trying to throw, but the execution has got to be better.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. Intercepted, and the first drive ends with a pick. Touchdown, Oregon! This defense making a big play and putting it in the end zone.
I mean, you talk about coming out of the defense and setting the tone and letting them know it's going to be a long game. Let's do this. How about a pick 6 on the first possession? Nice job by the defense coming out and striking first in this ball game.
And the extra point is good. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Dropping back, it's Aller. Throws to the wideout. It's caught downfield. Wide open spaces. He's at the 20. Ripped off a huge sharp play on that one as he gets the first down before he steps out of bounds.
And that's the dangerous part about this offense, man. They'll get the ball out to a receiver. They can do that. They can make plays after the catch. Hard to bring down, hard to tackle. That's why this offense can be so explosive.
Trying to pound their way in. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Nittany Lions. Did not take long to get into the end zone. Now let's see if this gets this offense to hit overdrive.
And we may have a situation here. We might have points, and more points. You keep putting drives together like that quickly, chewing up that much yardage, defenses are going to have to get something figured out.
And he tacks on the extra point. They're set to kick it off. You think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? Fielded in the end zone, it's Benson. I know he thinks he can house every return, but sometimes you just have to take a knee as he stopped at the 14. All wideouts, no backs. Looking to throw on first down. Got it in the middle, it's Moore. Man, what a matchup. The stakes are really high. Both teams in the top 10, playoff positioning, all the things that go with a midseason showdown, guys.
And these are just fun for us because we got a little bit more juice, too, because both teams in playoff contention, both teams high aspirations, a big showdown, a big prove-it game, Palmer, for both these squads.
And it's been fun because these two teams seem to be revving up right at the right moment. They've gotten better and better as the weeks have progressed, and now we've got this major clash, head-to-head in front of the entire country, all eyes watching.
Moore will throw. Get it out on the screen. Finding open areas. They drag him down, but not before he's moved the chains, and the screen pass is effective. And the Ducks have it with a 1st and 10. Looking downfield on first down. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down.
This defense has a lot of speed, especially in the secondary. You saw that speed. That defender got to that receiver so quick, and because of the hit, incomplete pass.
Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. Looking for space. It's Hughes. Maybe a 3-yard pickup there. 3rd and long coming up.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough. But how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
He stopped short, and it's 4th down. Doesn't quite make it to the 1st down marker. He's a yard short. They didn't quite get that route run deep enough to pick up the 1st down. Now they've got a 4th and short.
And I think everybody at home tends to yell at their television set. Why aren't you getting past the 1st down marker? Why did you run your route short? Defense did a good job knowing where that was. But now, 4th down, offense has to make a decision.
I love offenses that can just rely on their offensive line to get it done in 4th and short situations like that. Turn around, hand it off, let's stay on the field and keep this thing going.
Looking to throw on 1st down. He hurls one deep down the left side. Touchdown, Ducks! Hauled that baby in and then strolled into the end zone for the score.
Really nice job working the route and getting himself open. He was able to locate the football, snag it out of the air, and this guy now has 5 receiving touchdowns on the year.
And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Looking for a man. It's Aller. Pulls it in. It's Pena. Out to the 36-yard line after gaining 10 on that one. Drew Aller feels as if he has unfinished business at Penn State. Tyler Warren is gone, but Aller still with a plethora of weapons at his disposal, and maybe, David, giving him a path to redemption in the college football playoff.
Yeah, and when we saw him finish, it wasn't the best, right? He made the big turnover. They had a chance to go to the national title game, but Penn State took some next steps, and he took some next steps. So if the talent in this offense, another year with Colton Ncaa, the running backs back, like this offense could really take that next step.
2nd down, they'll go to the air. Caught near the sticks. It's Pena. At the 35, he's got room. And this defense was flailing as he weaved his way and got down to the 26. This is an explosive attack, and that last big play has them set up 1st and 10 from the 26. Makes the grab. It's Singleton. And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain.
One of the things you love about this running back is not only can he run between the tackles, but he's also a weapon in this offense catching the football.
So now it's 2nd and long.
Get set.
Takes a handoff. It's Singleton. They finally wrestle down the senior, but not before he picks up some valuable ground. The Nittany Lions will try to punch it in on 1st and goal.
42 Spider. 4-2 Spider.
They'll try to get it in with the run. And he fights his way forward, gets away from one, but not much doing on that one. Starting off this quarter close enough to smell the goal line.
Pound 55 weak.
Wants to throw. It's Aller. Unleashes to the end zone. Can't make the grab as he was going for 6 right there.
Nice execution by this defense on 2nd and goal. And they try to throw the football. They stay tight on him. If I'm this offense, maybe I run some crossers, a little pick route, trying to get my guy open.
Now 3rd and goal and tough yardage to cover here. From the gun, wants to pass. And the Pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19. Here we go on 4th and goal, ground to cover. Offense calls a timeout here. Critically important to make sure they have the right play called and everyone on the same page here. Now on 4th down, they'll send out the field goal unit. Good, right down the boulevard. That'll bring him to within 4. After that last field goal drive, they're set to kick it away.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. Got enough for the first down. Really good job to pick up a chunk of yardage and get it out to the 39-yard line.
He really shows you his skills on that last run. And I feel like today, if you're a running back at Oregon, you are expected to be explosive. You're not going to be a guy that goes in between the tackles and gains 3 yards, and that's okay. I feel like now today, because of all the great running backs they've had here recently, if you get into the second level, you're expected to go to the house. This guy has that kind of skill.
Second down, he'll throw it. Buys a little time with his feet. Snags it inside the 20. And he slipped through the crowd, and he'll house it. Touchdown, Oregon!
And what nice play design. You get your speed. Put him in the slot, usually get a better matchup, and then what do? You fade him towards that sideline, run a go. Nice ball thrown way out wide. He just runs underneath it, and just too much speed. Couldn't catch him. Gets in the end zone for 6.
And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Boys, if it's happening in college football, we've got eyes on it. Check this out. Western Michigan is in front. They've been impressive today, but they still have to finish the job, and that is not a given. They're up by a field goal over the Judicials. Just another week of college football where we've come to expect the unexpected. Fellas?
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down, second down coming. In a competitive conference like the SEC, you just can't afford to start 0-1 if you want to chase a championship. Really important to get off to a good start.
No doubt, in the SEC, you've got to set the tone early. It's all about
trying to beat the D deep. Makes the catch on the left. Turns on the Jets. Touchdown, Penn State. A great catch and run for 6.
Sometimes it's players, not plays, or sometimes it's both. And when you got that guy and you put him in the slot and you let him burn for a go route right past a nickel corner or one of the reserve corners or a safety, that's a great job by the offense, and that speed you can't teach, and that's why he's in the house for 6.
They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. He'll bring it out. It's Gresham. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. They'll try to put something together, backed up a bit, starting at their own 13. Moore to the air. He tosses one high and deep down the left side. He's got it on the outside. Oh, he's getting ahead of stick. Touchdown, Ducks! He broke away from the defense, and they couldn't catch him.
You know, quarterbacks and receivers, they develop confidence and chemistry as the game goes on. These two right now are definitely on the same page.
And with the extra point, they push the lead out a little further. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. They come out now down by 2 possessions, 28-17, and hoping to use this drive to draw closer. Not a lot going on there. Picked up a couple. Here's why this one's so much fun, guys. Early in the season, sort of a proving ground type of game for a couple of squads that believe they could win it all.
And we've heard so much in this offseason, right, about both of these teams and top 10 teams preseason. Now you get a chance to prove it. Like, now you get a chance to see who are the dudes on the squad. These are always fun early in the season, Jesse.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to find out what these teams are about because we've seen both teams beat up on weaker competition. We know they're both very talented, but let's see good against good and find out what they are.
Takes a handoff. It's Singleton. Makes it past the marker. Really good job by everybody there. Well blocked, good run, and a first down. The Nittany Lions come to the line with a new set of downs. They're going to go right back to him on first down. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
I think if you're the coaching staff, you have to like what you've seen from this guy so far in the game. He's pumped out some really nice runs. Obviously, he's already scored a touchdown. Really nice run.
Oh, he's got some space. Turning on the Jets. Inside the 20-yard line. Pushed out at the 18, and they're in business.
Well, this offense has come out slinging the pill. They are throwing it. They are trying to be aggressive. We're only in the second quarter, guys. Already, this guy has over 200 yards passing.
And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball.
Hey, man, if you're going to force incompletions when the QB's thrown to the tight end, you better be physical. Nice job with the hit, forcing that incompletion.
They'll try it over the left side. There was just nowhere to cut back. Great job by the defense, and he'll have to take the loss.
That's really worrisome if I'm the head coach, watching my run game suffer the way it has early in this game. And that's why you're down by a lot of points right now. The only way you're going to change the scoreboard is if you're able to find a way to start running it. So if you can't do it with your running backs, you got to think about QB runs, jet sweeps. You got to find ways to have balance.
And the defense, got him at the 27.
What a great job by this defense setting the tone early. In the first half, they've been hitting the quarterback early and often. Make him feel uncomfortable. Make him feel that pressure. Keep getting him on the ground. That's why they've built a lead.
He splits the uprights. That'll make it a one-possession game. The lead is 8. So the kickoff team is out there ready to boot it away after putting up a field goal. Let's see what the defense can do. Fielded in the end zone. It's Benson. Slips through the line. He's got an alley. And there he goes. They won't get him. It's a touchdown. That dude ought to have a lethal sticker on his helmet. Anytime he touches it, it can be a score. He touched it, and it was.
No doubt. Unbelievable speed. And if you're back deep for a kickoff, obviously you got those wheels. But to be able to get through, and guess what? No flags. You know it's going to count. Great job by the special teams being special.
They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. It bounds through the back of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. They take over late in the half, enough time to put together a drive. Back to throw, it's Allard. Fires to the big fella. Turning it on! He goes out of bounds, maybe a step shy of the 40. They're going to mark it at the 39, and a really nice pickup there.
It's way too early in the game to say this is a must score, but man, you've dug yourself an early hole, and this offense needs to capitalize. You're not getting the football after the half, so create some momentum now while you can.
Going to take a shot. And that one falls incomplete, trying to get a chunk play on that one.
Well, this defense was ready for go balls. Against this receiver and his speed, he's one of the fastest in the country. They knew this quarterback was going to try to take the top off the defense. That time they couldn't link up, but if you're on defense, just know they're going to try that play again.
On second down, he'll try to make the connection this time. And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit.
Well, this offense has gone his way early and often in this game. They've gotten into a nice rhythm. That time, though, the defense was expecting the throw going his way. They put a really nice hit on him to force the incompletion.
Here's the pressure. He took a hit as he threw it and couldn't deliver the football. It's incomplete, and fourth down's coming. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Big man has it. It's a first down and more. And they finally get him to the ground. An easy conversion for this offense. Defense not exactly the perfect fourth down call there. And the Nittany Lions will have it 1st and 10. Fires to the wideout. Intercepted. A first half turnover can swing momentum. And they capitalize not only on the pick, but on the great return to improve this field position.
Man, another mistake by this. Listen, he is an elite quarterback. He's really, really good. He's pressing too much. Jesse, the #1 job of a quarterback, you better protect the football. I don't care how good you are, you better protect it.
Yeah, you just got to take what the defense is giving you, and I agree, David. It looks like right now he's trying to force the big play instead of just checking it down or throwing away. He's got to do a better job working through his progressions right now. He's got tons of talent, but he's making bad decisions.
From the 39-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Moore will throw. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on first down.
I know that one falls incomplete, but I love the idea of finding ways to get this running back the ball, right? You can hand it off to him. He's got really good hands. Already has a few catches in this game. I think you keep trying to leak him out of the backfield and let him take advantage of this defense throwing the ball.
I thought white noise was supposed to be relaxing. This is deafening on third down. Throws toward the end zone. And swatted down by the defense to stop the scoring opportunity.
I think for the quarterback, he's going to have to be so good with his eyes in this game. You're going up against one of the best defenses in the country. You've got to look guys off, especially when you're trying to throw to your primary target like he was on that last one.
On fourth down, trying to find his man. He'll take another shot here. It's incomplete, and they'll turn it over on downs.
Great coverage on that fourth down play. Nice job blanketing the receiver out wide. The defense, you could tell, they knew they were going for it. They had a game plan. They get the big stop and turn it over to their offense.
He wants to start this drive with a pass. It's gone. They bring him down, but it'll be first down at the 42. There's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half. The offense has it 1st and 10 from the 42. Use the play fake. Now to throw. Unloads to the wideout. And the defense making a play, getting a hand on that pass.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on first down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have that chance to be complete.
Got his man downfield. And he's brought down after a nice gain. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play. And he just continues to put up numbers, and that number is now over 300.
This guy just throws completions, man. The ball doesn't seem to touch the ground. He's back there. He's making the right reads. Right now, he is locked into what this defense is trying to do.
Shoots it to the left. Pass is incomplete, and we dwindle down to 7 seconds.
I know one of the things this defense really prides themselves on is being physical, and early in this game, putting a big hit on a guy that's already had a couple catches in this game, that's a good omen for the defense.
Pocket breaking down. And that is interception number 3 on the day. And they make the play and make sure there's not any scoring opportunity right here before the end of the half.
And he makes a play in the back end. Nice job reading the pass, and that's his second of the season. This guy, unbelievable job seeing the quarterback, breaking on the quarterback, and going and getting that big play.
They'll have just enough time to get one more snap before the half. Moore to the air. Going for the big play. Intercepted. Got some room to run. And the defender is tackled, and that's how we'll run out the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update. We're just about ready to start the second half. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. First play from scrimmage, and they'll keep it on the ground. A collision, and he stopped at the 27 after picking up 1.
And I think this has probably been the most surprising thing of this game so far. This guy's one of the best running backs in the entire country. They just can't get him going. He's never been able to get into a rhythm. You got to give the defense so much credit because they have been able to shut this guy down, and they got to keep that up here in the second half.
Guys out of the backfield now, it's not just run the ball downhill anymore. You got to be versatile. I got to be able to trust you in the pass game, and I got to be able to throw you the football, and you can do that right there. I know you're going to catch it, and I can depend on it.
Looking to move the chains. They throw it complete to the left. And he gets it done on third down. They move the chains, and they'll mark it at the 44. No reason to panic when you see those extra bodies coming. Just find the big tight end.
Well, and the great ones do that. I think the great ones are okay. You want to blitz? I know my answers. I'm all right. I'll stay patient. Find the matchup. This time it was the tight end. Finds the tight end, throws a strike, gets the first down.
Caught, and he's close to a first down on the nice pickup there. The Ducks in a good spot here with second and short. Jet sweep pass. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. Here comes the noise from this big crowd in Happy Valley on third down. Moore will throw. Bringing the heat. And the defense picks up a sack, getting the quarterback down at the 44. Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. That earlier sack really set them back, but they'll still go for it here. On fourth down, looking for the completion. Makes the grab past the marker. And they finally make the tackle, but this will be a pretty easy conversion for this offense. They were willing to spin that wheel of fortune in their own territory, and it paid off.
And it came up good. I mean, I think you see the aggressiveness by these offenses now, willing to go for it on their own territory, and I like it because they got it.
Brought down, but not before he pulled his way inside the 10 to the 8.
Defense is all about creating negative plays, and he does a really good job at the quarterback spot of not taking sacks. Like, that's a great job. He wants to throw the football.
Oh, it's picked off. That's not the start they hoped for. Picked up a few extra on that return, but what a play by this defense to get the football. The offense basically has the whole field in front of them, backed up close to their own end zone. The give on the inside. Not much there. He gets 1 to the 11.
Well, not a great run there, but I think what the coaching staff is trying to do is they're trying to help out their quarterback. He's thrown interceptions on each of his last 2 drives, and the best way to try to settle him down is to get the running game established. But I think the defense is aware of that right now, loading the box. Everybody up front is ready for the run.
It's really hard when you get in those predictable situations. Defenses are sitting on the sticks. Receivers have to understand where that first down marker is. Heads-up play, nose for the first down marker. Get in there and get it.
And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down.
Not many receivers like to get hit. They just don't, okay? They're prima donnas. That's what they are. That's who they are. Nice job by the defender. You could tell he was catching the football. He was going to put a hit on him to make sure he had to think about something later, and you could...
There he goes. All out of space. Big gain on that one as he steps out of bounds with a first down. The Nittany Lions are on the move. Just keep slinging it. Just a short pass to the tight end. They make the stop, but man, this senior took one right in the mustache as he fired the completion. The Nittany Lions with myriad options after that big pickup on first down. Looking to throw, it's Allard. It's complete. Down to the 3-yard line, and that's where they'll have it first and goal. This offense in scoring position with a fresh set of downs. They'll dial up the run on first and goal. Beck's going for the goal line. He cannot get it in. A mere inches away from pay dirt. Offense trying to pay it off on second and goal. Tries again to get it in. Going right back to the well, and this time he finds water. Gets it into the end zone for the touchdown.
This guy just has a nose for the end zone, and you love his ability to find creases, use his speed in the open field, and go score. He's been really good for his offense early this year. That already his 5th rushing touchdown on the season.
The snap sets up the throw. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete. They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score. Coming out with it, it's Benson. Pulled down at the 18, and the decision to bring it out of the end zone was not a good one. We thought we might see some of this. They'll go to the Wildcat formation here. Gets the back moving. On the snap, it's Stewart. Grab near the sticks. It's Moore. They bring him down, but that's why you give them that Wildcat look to create an opportunity for big plays. We thought we'd see a little Wildcat formation in this spot, and here it is. On the direct snap, it's Stewart. They forged ahead just a bit. Not a lot working with the Wildcat there. Behind the chains now on second and long. Moore to the air. Flushed out of the pocket. Quickly to the tight end. They finally get to him. What a play there to pick up the first down.
It's a nice play call there. You've got 2-possession lead. You're trying to keep the defense guessing, right? Because you've got that lead, they know you're going to run it, but you still have got to be able to sprinkle in some shot plays and some vertical throws. That was really, really good thinking on that last play call by the offense.
The Ducks will snap it on 1st and 10. Using the quick game. They'll get it down to the 10-yard line on that completion. As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. Wants to go up top. He's got the tight end. Touchdown, Oregon! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house. How efficient have they been as they extend this lead here in Week 5? This guy's putting the Oregon offense on his shoulders, carrying them however you want, on the ground or through the air.
I mean, so fun to watch when you got a guy that can do this. And we've seen it with the Ducks in history, man. They've had some great ones that put their team on their shoulders. If you need me to run it, I'll run it. You need me to throw it, I can do that too.
Here we go, here we go.
They want to throw it. Into the end zone he goes for the 2, and now they lead by 3 possessions. Kickoff unit all lined up, and we're ready to put toe to leather. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Final stands in the game, and we'll start with the 1st down. To the air, it's Allard. Immediately fires to the middle. Good pickup, a little bit short of the sticks. The Nittany Lions moving quickly to the line. Going to swing it on 2nd down. Keeps looking downfield. On the move to the right, looking for a big one. And the pass is complete. He's got it at the 20. And Jesse, there's a huge mountain to climb here, but you might as well start with a chunk play.
Well, you got to start somewhere, Reese. It's been tough going for this offense all game long. They find themselves in a hole, but I love the aggressive nature. Keep taking shots. Keep trying to claw your way back into this one.
Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that 1st down. Running back searching for a hole. Stop behind the line. He'll lose a yard. It'll be 3rd and long. The offense changing the play. On 3rd down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. Snagged in the middle. It's Singleton. Can't quite cross the plane to get the 6, but they'll have the 1st down. The Nittany Lions are flying down the field. A 1st down run on the doorstep. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Nittany Lions! You know, the way he's going has me churning through the old memory bank here for the single-game touchdown record at Penn State. You know who that was?
I have no idea.
Well, everyone knows it was Harry Robb. Went to the house 6 times in 1917. Takes a snap, wants to throw. He's got it in the end zone for the 2 as they trim more off of that lead. So that was a 6-play, 75-yard drive. So after getting into the end zone on that last drive, they're set to kick it away. He'll bring it out. It's Gresham. Gets it across the 20 to the 21, and not quite what he would have picked up just taking the touchback. snapping it from the 21. Moore will throw. Finds the tight end. And there might have been trouble if they hadn't gotten... immediately.
I love an offense that wants to stay aggressive. Even when you've got the lead late in a game like this, right, you still try to find your playmakers and get them the ball in space, and that is exactly what this offense is doing.
Lining up in the Wildcat. Let's see what they've got. On the direct snap, it's Hughes. They get him on the ground, but it'll be enough for the first down, and they might mark that down to use the Wildcat again.
Well, the defense didn't blitz. They didn't have everybody in gaps, and the offensive line took advantage at the point of attack, getting some push, opening up a hole, and the offense ripping off a nice run there.
So they come to the line, and the Wildcat going to give them a different look. Direct snap. It's Stewart. It just left that pass short. Not enough juice on that one.
And that's a missed opportunity. I mean, he had him open. He could have thrown that football maybe with just a little bit more touch. He had plenty of mustard on it. You could see he threw a bullet. But sometimes when those guys are wide open, you see quarterbacks they try to aim it a little bit too much, and it'll come up short.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. Using his legs, keeping his eyes downfield. He goes out of bounds after a solid gain on the play.
Well, look, I love the fact that he scrambled. He can't take a sack. He can't take a negative play at this point in the game. I just wish he would have stayed in bounds, though. You got to know as a quarterback here, we've got the lead. It's late. I get tackled in bounds. The clock keeps ticking.
They'll run the ball. The clock is on their side. They'll make the stop about a yard short of the first down.
The big fella in the middle, man. Those defensive tackles, they go such a long way in deciding and really stopping the other team's run game. Just forcing contact with those guards and those centers, owning the line of scrimmage, and getting running backs on the ground.
Trying to keep this drive alive. Will not get there. A fourth down stop.
Well, you're up by 2 possessions in the fourth quarter. They're hoping with that conversion they ice the game. They don't get it. It feels like they're going to win, but we've seen crazy things happen in college football, and they've left the door open here late. Let's see what happens.
Fires to the big fella. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. They're dealing with a second and long. To throw, it's Aller. Got it in the middle, it's Dinkins. Knocked down at the 24-yard line, but it's a big gain. 15 yards on the play, and this offense is in business. Inside the 25, they'll snap it from the 24. First down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Wants to go up top on first down. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down. Second down coming.
Well, they're not able to hook up on that throw, but they need to score now. At this juncture of the game, this late in the game, they need a touchdown, they need an onside kick recovered, and they need to score again if they're going to win.
Fires toward the end zone. Touchdown, Penn State! And they take it in for 6 more points.
Well, the good news is you scored a touchdown. You made this a one-possession game. The bad news is you got to get the ball back. So if you're the head coach, you've got to start thinking, how are we going to do that? Are we going onside kick, or do we trust our defense to give it back to the O?
And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Gentlemen, let's take a look at what's happening in this exciting college football game. FIU is up big right now in what's shaping up to be a blowout they'll remember in Miami for some time. They're up by 22 over Louisiana. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. the shotgun, they'll run it. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
And I think the defense would be really happy with where they're at right now. They knew they had held their stud down to his little yards, but they're trailing. And this is the time where he's going to get the ball even more. So they got to be ready for him. It's going to him. He's a great back, and they've done a pretty good job all day.
On the run, it's Hughes. There he goes. Good, solid pickup on that one. They've got it out to the 40, and it's first down.
Yeah, it's make or break time for this defense now. They got to get a stop, and if that's bringing more bodies in, bringing more beef in, they're running the football right up the gut, right at you. They're not going to throw the football in this situation. Time to be more physical and get this big stop.
Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run. At this point, the defense has little choice but to sell out to stop the run on 2nd and 7. Under fire. That's reeled in. It's Moore. He's loose. And he'll be forced out of bounds, but not before yet another big play in this passing attack. And the Ducks enter the final minute of play trying to run out the clock. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. They got nothing on the last play at 2nd and 10. To the ground with the back. Lots of running room. It's a seam wide open. He's got enough for the first down, and that ought to do it. They ought to be able to run out the clock from here. You already have the lead. Scoring is always good. But milk the clock, and it will be your friend. He's brought down at the 6, but the defense feeling the heat to make a stop here.
Well, there's not a lot of mystery what you're going to do on offense at this point of the game. With the lead late, you're just going to lean on your star running back. This is a guy who is going to play on Sundays at the next level. Just keep giving him the football and just let him take this thing over.
And he crosses the goal line for the late touchdown, and that one just might finish this baby off. Follow the blockers. The offensive line will take you to the hallelujah land.
And I tell you what, most of the time, Reese, it requires a little bit of skill to find that hole and, slither through a little crack. That was not a crack. That was wide open. Didn't take a lot of vision because the blocking was outstanding.
51, Penn State, 41.
The kickoff bounces through the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Looking to throw, it's Aller. Moves away as he feels pressure. What a spectacular grab there as they try to finish this game with a little something to feel good about. Touchdown, Nittany Lions! Nice catch and good work afterwards to get it into the end zone.
That sure feels like too little, too late. This offense, they needed to score and execute faster, but there's not enough time to me, man. This feels like this one's over.
Lining up for the onside kick, just a few seconds to play, and they will need a miracle. And a few anxious moments, but the hands team is able to fall on it.
Yeah, and this is why you put your hands team on the field most of the time, when you know it's coming, and you put those guys that are great catchers of the football. The first guys, what do? They go block. They go blow somebody up. The next guys catch the football, secure it, get your butt on the ground. And most of the time when you do this, the ball game is over.
They'll operate out of split backs. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Moving out of the pocket. And down he goes. Not sure about putting your quarterback in harm's way there, but that's going to do it. How much fun was that? I mean, you just dream of having games like that every time you go into the booth. I'll watch those two teams play anytime.
Yeah, that's what's fun about good teams. Really good teams squaring off. Like, there wasn't a lot of difference between these two squads. We could watch these every week. Love calling these games because they're competitive. Great talent on the field. Palmer, unfortunately, somebody had to lose.
Yeah, and the higher-ranked team was ranked higher for a reason. At the end of the day, when it came down to it, they made the biggest plays in the most critical moments. Both of these teams have tremendous playmakers. playmakers, and they're both going to make a lot of noise late in the college football season, but give the higher-ranked team tons of credit. They earned this one.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.
State.